On this episode, we discuss Jurassic World Rebirth.
The dinosaur movie for people who don't give a shit about dinosaurs.
Hey, everyone, and welcome to the Flophouse. I'm Dan McCoy.
I'm Stuart Wellington. Whoa, you surprised me.
I'm Elliot Kalin, worried about Stuart Wellington. I think it's time to give him one of those cognitive tests that the president keeps acing.
Honestly, we talked so much before the show started rolling that I think that by the time it's happened, Stuart was like, oh, wait, okay, this is different. I got to think of my cue.
Yeah, I thought we had done the show already. Yeah.
Yeah. He was already on his way home. He was riding his bicycle.
In my head, I'm like, so I got to pick up eggs, bread,
more eggs.
Oh, someone's making French toast.
Yeah.
Ooh la la. Okay, well, on this podcast, we watch a bad movie.
Yeah, because French toast is toast with tongue, Dan. That's what it is. Yeah.
We
watch a bad movie, then we talk about it.
Yeah, a film that perhaps audiences or critics rejected, or both, and then we see what we have to say about it.
We are the final judges.
Yeah, only us can judge. Sorry, go on.
This episode, audiences did not reject it. It made a lot of money, so it was not a financial flop. It was the 5th highest grossing film of 2025. Even though when I mentioned it to somebody recently, they said, there was another Jurassic Park movie? Huh.
That honestly fucking shocks me. Like, this movie feels like it just disappeared into the ether. I can understand, I guess, like, people being like, oh, I still like Jurassic Park. I'm tired of, like, the Chris Pratt arc of it. So maybe seeing ScarJo up there on the screen and dinosaurs are like, yeah, I'll give it a shot. But beyond that, like that's I find that very confusing, just because it's been diminishing returns for decades now.
Well, did it make less money than the last one?
I think it might have made more, but I'm not sure.
It probably went up.
Let's look up, according to Wikipedia, whether it did. But this was also, I have to imagine, I didn't get to go to the theaters this much this year. This seems like a year of very few movies, to be honest. I feel like I'm looking at the top 10 movies of 2025, highest grossing according to Wikipedia, and F1 is number 8. F1 did better than I thought, but like that's a surprise to me that F1 did so well.
What, that dads go to movies?
Dads don't get to go to movies, if I'm any indication.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we've talked about it before, and I don't want to get into too much bitterness, but it feels like the entertainment industry in that way is in like this weird death spiral where they're like, I don't know, things aren't doing well. What we should do is make less stuff. And it's like, well, that's going to make it worse, guys.
Yeah.
You got to like recommit to actually doing new things, and a lot of them.
This and so it made less money than the last one. I didn't realize. So this says that according to Wikipedia, Jurassic World Dominion made over $1 billion box office worldwide. Which
you could open a dinosaur park with that kind of.
I mean, the budget was $465 million, so it's possible that movie barely broke even. With it making $1 billion. But that's according to Wikipedia. But also the top, of the top 5 movies of the year, according to Wikipedia, Jurassic World is the only one that's not a family film, a family or children's film. So that shows you like kind of why people are going to the movies, which is that you got to do something with those kids. You got to find something to do with them for a couple hours. Anyway, that was what I call the Kalin box office report. Now it's back to Dan McCoy.
In that box office report? Anything good in anything above it in anything good on that list? Anything that you've seen that you're like, that's a good movie?
Ironically, the only movies I see in the theaters now are movies I take my kids to. So I saw 3 out of the 5.
So like Sinners and
Sinners, exactly. Yeah, Eddington. But it looks like. Number 1 is a Chinese movie I'm not familiar with, Ne Zha 2. Then there's Lilo and Stitch, the live-action remake, and Zootopia 2, and then a Minecraft movie. The top 4, and then Jurassic Park.
So you saw at least you saw the Minecraft one, right?
I saw Lilo and Stitch, I saw a Minecraft movie, and I saw Zootopia 2.
Oh, okay.
Or Tootopia, as it should have been called.
Zootopia,
Zootopia?
Zootopia, I think, makes more sense because it keeps the zoo in the
That's
title.
True, yeah. Tootopia makes you think that it's a world of twos. Yeah, living twos.
Yeah, good point. Sorry. As Elliot mentioned, I wandered away for a second. I realized that the computer was not plugged in, which could cause issues later on down the line.
Yeah, probably. It was a race against time.
But let's get into, now that we've talked about the box office, the most important thing, of course, in today's society.
Well, no, but it's just surprising that. So the first Jurassic Park, we've talked about it before. It was the biggest movie in the world. It was one of the biggest movies of all time. It was so magical. It had such a big impact, I think, on all of us, certainly on me, but also on culture in general. And it's amazing. And this is something that other people have said a million times. It's the thing you talk about with Avatar, that like this movie was a big hit, but I don't know, like nobody I know talks about it, thinks about it, has mentioned it. You know, it's just not something that's on people's minds, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to dog on Jimmy C over here, but the first Jurassic Park,
Jimmy Carter.
Yeah, that's who we're talking. Yeah, Jimmy Carter, director of Avatar. I mean, I bet. There's a chance Jimmy Carter saw Avatar, guys, and I bet he would like it.
There is a chance he saw Avatar, yeah.
But what I'm saying is that
I sympathize with that message of environmentalism. Yeah, exactly.
If only I could be put into a Na'vi body.
To live again.
To stick my ponytail into another flying alien.
To make love to a tree or something.
Do they grow peanuts on other planets? I'd like to find out.
But what I'm saying is that having recently rewatched the original Jurassic Park, like the effects still hold up. Like it's great.
By the way, I can't remember whether I told this story on the podcast or just to you guys privately, but I want to
tell it again.
Mention it again, which was that originally I started watching this movie on Peacock before we were going to do it for the show, and then I stopped because I'm like, why am I doing this? Like, we should if I'm going to watch this thing, I should be watching it for the show. I'm not going to enjoy it. Like,
you want to get paid for it, yeah.
Yeah. But I thought I was watching it, and because I saw that it was on Peacock, and I'm like, yeah, Jurassic Park. I clicked on it because it had been up front, and the first scene started, and I'm like, wow, this is doing a really good pastiche of Spielberg. Like a really, whoever, they did a good job. And then I realized, oh no, because they had this movie on Peacock, they had also added all of the other Jurassic Parks, and I'd actually clicked on the first one and forgotten that begins with the scene where they're loading up a dino in the crate and whatever. But this movie,
that is the first scene.
You're like, Sam Neill is looking great. He looks like he looked in 1993.
Yeah. It was when Sam Neill showed up that I'm like, oh.
It wasn't when the title Jurassic Park came up on screen?
Did that happen beforehand? I can't remember.
I don't remember. Maybe it didn't.
Anyway, this movie less, skillful in its filmmaking, perhaps. Let's get into the details.
I mean, it is no harsh words to say perhaps less skillful than Steven Spielberg, one of the greatest filmmakers of all time,
Yeah, I mean, this is a movie, not to tip Final Judgments too early, where a lot of talented people are involved. I don't necessarily blame any of them. I don't necessarily blame the director, screenwriter, actors, because they've done good work before, and I presume will do good work in the future. It's a thing where I blame the system.
I think the larger question, maybe this is where you're going, but I don't know. The larger question is, do we need any more Jurassic Park movies?
Yes.
And I feel like that's where the answer is potentially no, and they did the incorrect answer, which is yes. And then through no fault of their own, everyone was trying hard in this movie. But anyway, you'll just finish.
And I also feel like in this modern world, the way blockbusters are made, no one gets the time to actually seriously do the pre-production work that's necessary, the planning out, people are like, oh, we've got, digital cameras, we can just cover everything and cut it together however, it doesn't matter. I feel like the whole process is not built for smartly made blockbusters anymore.
And I would imagine that the role of director in something like this is more like managing the circus rather than actually making a movie. Like the making a movie is less like making a film and more like how do I navigate all the bullshit that has to go into making this mega movie?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they have less creative control than they might like. Anyway, so the movie starts. 2008.
Well, that's nice. I mean, it's off to a good beginning. Some movies never start.
Yeah,
the day the clown cried.
the Schmielborgs. That movie never started. I just made it up.
It never started at all. Yeah.
So We're in some
Invasion of the Cat Police. Again, never started. Not a real
it's
movie.
a real shame because that sounds great.
Sounds great.
All those little
love
kitty
to see
cats in
that.
those little police uniforms. Yeah.
Oh, that's the kind of what we're talking about. I thought it was people that police the cats.
Don't poop there.
Oh, little Tabby, you got to get back in your cage.
All right, nothing to see here. Just a bit of couch.
Leave that poor bird alone. Okay,
I believe the sofa's got the message. Put the claws away.
so, yeah.
There'd be a place for what you're doing, and it's called the litter box. Let's get moving to it, Tabby. Okay, now I like this version of it more, Stuart, where they're tiny cops, tiny Irish cops that just make sure cats follow the rules.
And, herding cats famously difficult, so... a lot of alcoholism in the cat police.
Oh, it's a very difficult posting, yeah.
Yeah, because they're little and like a thimble full of alcohol will fuck them up.
Yeah, that's the point.
Super easy to overdo it.
To be honest, why didn't they make this movie? Guys, I don't understand.
That's a failing of Hollywood. Just like Jurassic Park.
You like
Rebirth.
fucking Domhnall Gleeson to be one of the cops? He looks like Donald. Sorry, Domhnall. I don't know. It's funnier to say it Domhnall.
Stuart, you used to just proudly mispronounce people's names all the time.
You've changed, man.
I know.
So, back in 2008, we're at some engine facility devoted to genetically modified dinos. And security fails there because of a really dumb accident with a candy wrapper.
I like the Final Destination-ness of it.
It is very Final Destination. I will say this. This is the first of the hint of what is one of the themes of this movie, which is that people are tired of dinosaurs, which is such bullshit. I had so much trouble. They're like, as you'll see, they're like later, like, we're shutting down the dinosaur museum. Dinosaurs aren't special anymore. And I'm like, have you been to a zoo? It's the same fucking animals we've been seeing for hundreds of years. People still love them.
And
people don't care.
To borrow a critique from Griffin and Blake Check was talking about this, like, don't start a movie by being like, hey, this thing is boring.
Like, the thing that you like, that you're seeing the movie about, it's stupid and people don't like it. It's dumb and boring.
It's like, why am I supposed to care about a movie if you're telling me that it's shit? Like, what the like, I feel like it is supposed to be this like meta commentary on like, oh, like Jurassic Park movies aren't special anymore. It's like, well, yeah, well then don't make the goddamn movie. What the fuck?
Well, it's like in the third Mummy movie when the brother of everybody is like sick of mummies. He's like, mummies show up. He's like, oh, mummies again.
I hate these guys.
I like that you described him as the brother of everybody, which he is. We're all brothers and sisters in this human race.
I mean,
in the human family.
He's Rachel Weisz's brother, but then he's the brother-in-law to Brendan Fraser.
It's true.
Got a Rachel Weisz.
I guess it's not Rachel Weisz though. Is it
not
Kate
Rachel
Beckinsale? It's Kate Beckinsale, I think.
Yeah, right.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's been a long time since I've tried to explore with the Dragon Emperor's tomb.
The tomb of the Dragon Emperor.
You should really be apologizing to Kate Beckinsale.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, she's great.
So anyway, the security fails because of a candy wrapper. And I'm like, this is bad security if this one candy wrapper can do it. But anyway, a guy gets eaten by a dino, a big monster, mutant dino.
The D-Rex.
This is the D-Rex, which is, we'll see it more later, and it's basically they made a Rancor. Like, at this point, they're like, we're not even trying to make them like dinosaurs. They're just Rancors. Now,
I think it kind of looked like a xenomorph dinosaur because it had that big, like, bulbous head.
Yeah, like a
no one else has like a big bulbous head like that? A Rancor. But yeah, Dan, you're right.
Yeah. I think this is more of like a squat, sort of like snub head. But
it would have been really cool if there were like Gamorrean guards as well. If they're already fucking DNA.
Well, look,
fooling,
the idea that they're like kids are tired of dinosaurs. We're just remaking all the creatures from the Jabba sequence in Return of the Jedi, and then I can finally have a Salacious Crumb. This would be great.
Well, I like the idea that they're like, so the dinos ain't working, ain't paying all the bills, so we also need to be genetically modifying things to look like Star Wars crap for Disney World or whatever.
We got a pig. We turned it into a Gamorrean guard. We can't get them to be green. That's the problem. We can't crack that
You
nut.
paint them. It's fine.
It's fine. They lick the paint off because again they're pigs. It's hard to get them to hold an axe because they're not tool using animals.
You tape it to their hands or upper hoofs.
Anyway, after this accident,
we are the guys who are we're showing the executives what we've been able to do so far with the Gamorrean Gar project. And they're like, all right, I like that it's a pig on two legs. Here are my criticisms. Wrong color. It's easy to tell the axe is taped to his upper hoof. Yeah, we're working on that.
And actually, I think audiences will appreciate that they can see the seams, that they can tell that it's kind of lo-fi.
It makes it feel more real,
After this accident, we flash forward to 2025. This is all, of course, in the same mainline continuity.
Did you guys see the last one? Did you see the last one? I didn't see the last one.
I never saw it. I kind of wanted to because it had the returning cast, but I never actually saw it.
We didn't do that for the show?
No, we did the one before.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't see the one before that, so I feel like I'm out to sea here.
Well, here's what you need to know. There was a dinosaur theme park and it went wrong.
No, but it didn't the dinos get out and spread around the planet for a minute?
The dinosaurs got out and they're everywhere. And now this movie starts, the dinosaurs are dying off.
Fucking jobs and shit and having to go to work.
Yeah.
It's the money for nothing video, but with dinosaurs. Oh, I got to move these microwave ovens.
Pterodactyls, turntable now. And
cool. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, it's a living, et cetera. Yeah. Well, the pterodactyl would be the needle, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, we're in the same continuity, and the Earth's climate has proved... Climate has proved...
I was going to let it go. But I'm glad you called it out. That it is the climate, yeah.
has proved inhospitable for these dinos, so most of them are, around equatorial regions where people aren't allowed to go. And like you said, everyone's bored of the dinos, which is represented by, we see Pharma Representative Martin Krebs, played by Rupert Friend, being bored by a traffic jam in Brooklyn where there's a brontosaurus
caused by the last living brontosaurus in captivity.
Yeah.
Captivity.
The last living brontosaurus in New York.
Yeah. And he's like, ho hum.
Which as the creator of Maniac of New York, I kind of like that idea.
Yeah.
That people are it's just a part of everyday life. I don't
I expected some kids to be showtiming off of it.
That would have been great. They're tagging the side of this poor dinosaur. Oh.
Mm-hmm. Sliding down his back. He meets with
because they just the whistle got pulled at work, so they're sliding down his back to get into their car. Yeah, it's all Flintstones, Dan. You need another cultural touchstone for dinosaurs other than the Flintstones.
Well, for dinos and humans living together, if
they're already DNA fooling with dinosaurs, why don't they try and make Fred Flintstones and shit too?
So here's the thing. Fred Flintstone is just a person. Anyone can make a Fred Flintstone if you have a son.
Just dress him in a pelt.
I mean, Hollywood made a Fred Flintstone. His name is
wild.
His name is John Goodman in the Flintstones.
His body is pretty rectangular.
That's true, and his head takes up a huge amount of his general silhouette. Yeah,
it's just sort of 1/3 of the
yeah, I mean, because the thing is, you could just put a person, but people want it to look like the cartoon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what people want. They want genetically modified things from the past
to look like the cartoon.
That's where I think we talked about this before. Every time I go on YouTube to listen to music, because YouTube has been great for me for discovering music that I never would have known about before. It's bad for everything else. It wants me to watch videos people have made where they use AI to create, here's what this cartoon character would look like in real life. And there's one for the Flintstones that keeps coming up. And the thing I think is funny is that the male characters is that's pretty all right. The female characters are always way bustier and show way more cleavage. And I'm like, I don't remember Betty Rubble with cleavage. This doesn't seem right. But it's very funny that it's really showing you who's making these. What they want out of them. Or rather, who's telling the computer to make these.
Yeah, so this pharma guy meets with Zora Bennett, who is played by Scarlett Johansson.
If you're going to have horny Flintstones characters, I want a human hand to create everything. I want their individual hang-ups and kinks to inform every line.
The horniness of the artist has to come through.
So we got Scarlett Johansson. Now, she is arguably one of the most bankable action stars in the world, right? She's been in so many huge movies. I mean, if you count the Avengers movies in there, I guess.
I
do, yeah.
Yeah,
but I don't know if I would say
star of,
outside of that, I don't know if I necessarily, if people think of her as an action star necessarily. She's a great actress, but
maybe I'm wrong. I do. I would say a jack of all trades.
I mean, like, yeah, she is
the ScarJo of all trades. Yeah,
she's a great range. She can do all kinds of different things. But I'm with Elliot. I wouldn't be like, like bankable action star. But like, she can headline a blockbuster for sure.
Yes, for sure. And she's certainly very good in an action scene. She's really good at it. But I think the issue. So she's playing a character who is a mercenary, but also a nice, friendly mercenary with a heart of gold who never has to learn a lesson because she's already a sweet person. And I had a lot of trouble buying the character of the sweet, loving mercenary.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that no characters have any traits in this.
No, that's not true. The Rupert Friend character is an evil. Yes. He's basically Paul Reiser in Aliens. He's just an evil, greedy guy.
He's not as
good.
Bad. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, not as bad or as good. Yeah.
I read some review that pointed out that if any character has some sort of tragic backstory, they survive. And any character that doesn't have one gets eaten.
Yes, I mean, the characters, this movie is not hiding the ball at all over which characters are going to get eaten and which ones are not. Like, the cannon fodder, they might as well just walk up and go, don't bother learning anything about me. You won't have to. I'm going to get eaten by a dinosaur pretty soon.
Elliot, it's like you've anticipated my notes here. But
okay, well, so let's talk about, Scarlett Johansson, they meet in a car.
Yeah, they meet in the car. He wants her to go to the Jurassic Park zone to retrieve dino material that could help with heart disease. And she, of course, lost a friend.
They got the biggest hearts, dude.
Yeah, well, we'll get it. They lost a friend. She lost a friend on her last job. Part of her boring backstory, but is convinced by the money. She's offered a lot of money. So they go to meet paleontologist Henry Loomis, played by People's Sexiest Man Alive, Jonathan Bailey. Yes.
And you got a problem right off the bat. Maybe it's a fun thing, I don't know. When you have a character named Dr. Loomis in your movie, I'm going to assume he's related to Donald Pleasance's character from Halloween. Yeah. So every time they went Loomis, I was like, is Michael Myers on the run with the Jurassic Park dinosaurs? Which would have been great. I would have loved it.
I assumed that this was like a tip of the cap, but like it's a weird one. It's like, why are you tipping your cap to Dr. Loomis in this dinosaur movie?
It's weird for the romantic character for the other star who's supposed to be like the nerdy expert who finds his adventure zone or whatever. Well, for him to be a tip of the hat to Dr. Loomis is
because back then Donald Pleasance was People's Sexiest Man.
I forgot that he was People's Sexiest Man that year. The year Halloween came out. Yeah.
Yeah, but as Stuart alluded to...
that headline on the front said, "Wake in Delight, Donald Pleasance, People's Sexiest Man of the Year."
As Stu alluded to, they need material from the biggest dinosaurs because of the biggest hearts, which will help better with heart medicine.
Good thing they didn't come after me because I have an enormous heart.
Yeah.
Here's where this is going to be the first. I hope I won't do too many.
After me for Wang medicine.
Oh, we need Wang medicine. I mean, that's the thing. That would make more sense if they're like, hey, so Big Pharma really wants to fix dudes' boners, so we want to give people bigger boners, so we're going to the dinos with the biggest dongs. Like that, I'm like, oh yeah, they would spend so much money on that.
That would be very funny. That would be very funny.
Grind up these dino horns.
I'm going to try not to be too pedantic about the treatment of the dinosaurs and the other prehistoric animals in the movie because it's incredibly inaccurate. But there's a mistake they made here where it almost any thin layer of suspension of disbelief that I had, where they go to this paleontologist. Number one, the fact that he's like, yeah, we're closing down the dinosaur museum because people don't want to be here anymore. And I'm like, what? Like, what is going on? Setting that aside, that he says, we're going to go after the three biggest dinosaurs, Mosasaurus. And I'm like, right off the bat, that's not a dinosaur. And then he goes, Titanosaurus, Quetzalcoatl, the largest of the pterosaurs, like also not a dinosaur. And I wish that they had made, I was bothering my wife about it. I was like, here's how you should do that moment. Is he says, we need to get samples from a mosasaur, a tritanosaur, and a Quetzalcoatl. And then Scarlett Johansson says, or something says like, okay, the three dinosaurs. Those are three dinosaurs. He goes, a mosasaur is technically not a dinosaur. It's a marine reptile. And she can say, whatever, it's got saurus in the name. I don't, whatever nerdlinger. Yeah. And you use that to, one, establish, this guy is an expert. He's real pedantic about some little piece of information that an average viewer may not be aware of. Two, you can make a joke out of it. Three, you start some tension between the two of them so that they don't like each other, so that when they do like each other, it's a turnabout. And I don't mean to tell David Koepp, one of the great modern, blockbuster screenwriters, how to do his job. That would be presumptuous of me. But it made me so mad that it's like, right off the bat, the paleontologist character is calling Mosasaurus a dinosaur, which is the kind of thing that no other character would care about, but that character should care about, being specific about those classifications,
Also, I mean,
and the audience will learn something,
And the audience will learn something about not everything that lived back then. Those are reptiles, a dinosaur. Marine reptiles, not dinosaurs. Pterosaurs, not dinosaurs. Come on, guys. This is fascinating to you.
This is off to the side of your complaint, but also in the scene, like, I know you got to have a MacGuffin, and like if the movie's working, I don't really care about this kind of thing. But I was like, why do you have to have stuff from these 3 dinosaurs? Like, if it's just that you need like big dino DNA, then like why is it like, okay, these 3 dinos are the ones we got to get. We got to get all of them. It just didn't make any sense.
Yeah, if you only get 2, you're
go
done.
fuck yourself.
I mean, I also found it the fact that even after some of them have died, the others are still like Quetzalcoatl. Okay, that's the next one on our list. It'll be like, it was hard for me to buy that they still cared that much about this particular mission. After people start getting eaten by mosasaurs and things like that. But I don't know. Anyway, Stuart,
guys, I was just going to say, we're like pretty deep in the plot of this movie, so I think it's an appropriate time to talk about. I was doing a little research in the director. It's Gareth Evans.
Edwards.
Evans is the martial arts guy. And I just noticed his last 3 movies, Rogue One, The Creator, and Jurassic World Rebirth, all have the exact same runtime of 2 hours and 13 minutes. Is that some kind of like weird angel number shit?
I wouldn't be surprised if it is.
I didn't make it up.
My guess is that, and I could be wrong about this. My guess is maybe it's just him. I don't know. But my guess is that the studio will say, we don't want it to be 2.5 hours. That's too long. And they'll say, well, we need to be more than 2 hours for our, to tell this story. And then make it feel like an event. My guess is that probably is around the ballpark or the ideal length for one of those movies from a studio point of view. I could be wrong about that. It's also like less than 2.5 hours. I don't think it eats that much into the number of screenings you can show, that kind of thing. So anyway, that's my guess. My guess is that there's a reason for that.
Well, anyway, back to the movie that has barely started. Jonathan Bailey gets the paleontologist gets drafted into coming along.
The Paleontologist.
Down in the tropics, we are introduced to Zora's old partner Duncan, played by Mahershala Ali, and
always a welcome face.
He's doing great work in a movie that doesn't deserve him. He's got the mercenary crew.
But it's rare for a movie to deserve him. He's great, so it's hard to find a movie that deserves him. Yeah.
He's got the mercenary crew in the boat, and they extort more money from the farmer guy to do this job. And there are other characters who are just dino bait, so I'm not going to introduce.
Don't even bother. There's French girl, Frenchish guy, someone, I think.
boat driver. And this is, I don't want to be too hard on the aforementioned director because I've liked his work before, but this scene down in the tropics is the one where I was texting you guys. I'm like, there's so much like unmotivated camera movement, like edits that I don't like that will cut just away to like a far shot. Of them, like, with the sun setting in the background. It's a beautiful shot, but I was just thinking about, like, none of it, like, it all feels like they just got a bunch of shots, they threw them together, like, they didn't have the time to do what Spielberg does, which is, like, plan the blocking so the movements of the characters like emphasize like shifting dynamics and like the shots mean something. It was just like, I don't know, like the fact that it was just an exposition dump made me hyper aware of like what is going on here with the camera.
Yeah, the camera movements are just like, hey, well, it's a movie, so let's just put a bunch of images, like different versions of looking at the same thing.
It's a movie, so we have to move around. Anyway, so
they don't call it a standstilly.
Yeah, no. On the boat, we get a little explainer about how they're going to collect this dino material. They've got these darts that they shoot into the dinos, and then like the canister pops out.
I think
it comes out a little parachute.
Yeah, it pops out a little parachute. I think.
And luckily, it always pops out in a place they can catch it easily when it's descending.
Yeah.
Throughout the movie, that's something they never have to deal with. That like it gets stuck somewhere in a tree branch or something like that.
Or they don't like have to like jump for it or something.
Yeah.
We get more tragic backstory between ScarJo and Mahershala, and it's just all like super rote. Like we lost somebody, and it does not get me to care about them anymore.
Well, also, I feel like they are mercenaries, right? And it's I think it is supposed to be cool, kind of how vague they are about some of the stuff they're talking about. But if it was made clear that these are like they do rescues, or they do something that's specific to a good thing, but it's like. Yeah, we lost that friend on that mission. It's like, well, I don't know what you were doing. Were you doing some kind of Black Ops mission for Blackwater where you're killing a bunch of civilians in Afghanistan? Yeah. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I found it very hard to be sympathetic to these characters knowing that their work involves going into dangerous situations and I don't know, doing what? Like I don't know what they're
are they like world-class extractors like Tyler Rake in the Extraction franchise?
Exactly. And so I wondered if it was another one of those things where I'm like,
or my dentist.
I wonder if at some point
Tyler Rake's your dentist.
I wonder if at some point these were harder bitten characters that were then going to like find their humanity through this adventure or something like that. But instead, they're just kind of soft from the beginning, and it was very hard for me to buy the idea of like, again, this lovable team of mercenaries.
Yeah, like. Everybody is basically nice coded in this movie, with the exception of the guy who is Paul Reiser coded.
Yeah,
and the one mercenary who's like the weapons guy who doesn't care or something. But he gets killed so early
immediately. Yeah.
Well, speaking about not caring about characters, we meet the Delgado family.
Oh my God!
They're sailing nearby. We get Ruben Delgado and his daughters Teresa and Isabella. Who's
now I'm sure you
Bella.
guys were thinking the same thing that I was. Are they named as an homage to the comic book artist Ricardo Delgado, who did the Age of Reptiles comic book series, which is a great set of series that are just stories of dinosaurs, and their dinosaurs don't talk.
Like going to work?
What?
Like going to work?
No, not going to. I mean, going to do the work of like eating, hunting things. But I was like, if this is a tip of the hat to Ricardo Delgado, that's okay. So you guys were probably thinking the same thing, right?
Probably were. Yeah. Also, there is Xavier, Teresa's boyfriend, who Ruben the dad is not into because he's kind of a layabout.
I mean, to be honest, he's a pretty crappy kind of like teen boyfriend, at this point.
He
like
seems to be, but then
crappy
he proves himself later on, of course.
So why are these guys here? What's the point?
I don't know.
You got to have some civilians to have in danger. You got to have some kids in danger. That's the Jurassic Park way.
I don't know. There's something about like, we've already been introduced to the main thrust of the story, and then all of a sudden we're like, and then there's this family that's going across the ocean.
And especially because they made such a big deal out of, this is this belt around this equatorial belt that people are not supposed to go into. It is illegal to go close to Dinosaur Island. And then there's a family that's like, we do it all the time. We're just kind of crossing the Atlantic or whatever.
If we're going to bring other characters in, let me pitch what I will argue is a more interesting idea.
Okay.
They get to the island. There's some people who have been living there, like surviving, who are like, thank God someone's come to rescue us. And like, we're not actually here for you, but sure, well, like, if you want to.
Would it be? Yeah. I wonder if there's, I don't know. Anyway, never mind. Forget what I said. Dan, you're great.
I'll try. I don't know if I can. I'll forget, but I'll never forgive.
But I appreciate it. But it feels like either like changing the characters that we're dealing with or reorienting the story, or like it feels like there's kind of two movies that are slammed into each other at this, and they're not quite the same. They don't quite mesh as well they should, but I don't know.
But anyway, so there's a big whale dino that overturns their sailboat, and Xavier is trapped inside.
That's that wily mosasaur.
It does have a sail, or it doesn't have a sail.
It has a sail.
Well, so there's the Spinosaurs that are helping the mosasaur.
They're like the Silver Surfer to the Mosasaurus galactus, and then Mosasaur. That's right. He knocks over the boat. This is also the highly controversial idea that Spinosaurus was an aquatic dinosaur. Whether the evidence supports that, I'm not so sold on it. But the Mosasaur tips them over and pours them out as if they were a teapot.
Xavier's trapped inside the capsizing boat, but he's, the first time he sort of proves his mettle a little bit, he gets the emergency bag and gets back to the ship. On the other boat, Jonathan Bailey and ScarJo bond over her crying.
Being hot. Just being hot.
Yeah.
I mean, just being two hotties, yeah.
And they pick up the Delgado's distress call, and all of the evil-coded characters don't want to help.
Yeah.
No.
But our heroes, of course, want to pick them up. And the whale dino resurfaces. We get the first attempt at getting a blood sample.
Again, not an actual dino, just a marine reptile.
Yeah, marine reptile.
The big aquatic reptile's blood sample is successfully collected.
They did it.
How exciting was this sequence, guys?
Not very. Other dinos attack the ship, killing one of the first extraneous character, and there's a lot of shots of people hanging off of boats and dinos snapping at them. At this point,
they've scooped up the family, the Delgado family,
yes.
right?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
They've already rescued the Delgados.
I don't know why I got so irrationally annoyed when immediately these teenagers are like, you got to take us, you got to rescue us, you got to take us back somewhere. I'm like, guys, just get rid of these people. I don't want them here.
So what you're saying is the film is not doing
pharmacide.
The film's not doing its job of making you sympathize with these characters and want to see them survive.
No, I'm like, get me to that Dino Island. I don't want to deal with these kids.
Well, good news, Stuart.
That is a good point, though, that anything in a movie about a Dino Island, anything that is delaying your arrival to the Dino Island better be super fun and exciting and enjoyable, because all you're going to be thinking otherwise is like, when do we get to that Dino Island?
Yes.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it seems like Rupert Friend feels the same way. Teresa tries to radio for help, but he stops her to keep the mission secret. And in the scuffle, she falls off the boat, and he does not help pull her back up. But Xavier, the boyfriend,
and at that point, Stuart watching it was like, "Yeah, you go, Rupert Friend, you did it."
She later on is accusing him of trying to kill her, and I'm like, I feel like that's a stretch. I feel like he's being unfairly tarred with a
murder by inaction.
That's the sort of, that's the philosophical question: is that murder if it is through inaction rather through actual action? Is allowing someone
in
to
the middle of a dino attack? I mean, my mistake. Marine reptile attack.
Thank you.
I think that he has, like, I don't think a jury in the world would convict
he did accidentally also push her off the boat.
I feel like that's easily defended.
I mean, it is less cut and dry than later when he has them all at gunpoint.
Mr. Dinosaur Defender.
I mean, it's
I'm not some big city dinosaur. I'm a marine reptile.
It's not
and
murder
I say
one.
my client maybe is not the best man. Maybe I wouldn't want him to marry my daughter. But that's not a crime in these parts.
I think a manslaughter conviction would not be out of order for that, perhaps. But I don't know.
We can get that knocked down even more, I bet.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Okay.
He's going to be doing community service for a month. That's it. Yeah.
Anyway, the Delgados all jump in after her, and the boat tries to
go, wee!
tries for safety in shallow water, but the dinos push them into rocks, causing them to crash.
This was a very funny strategy on the part of Mahershala Ali, which is, these things are chasing us. We better escape them by crashing the boat so we can't use it anymore. Yeah. That's good thinking.
I don't think that was the point of the strategy. Anyway, another extraneous character gets killed. R.I.P. Lady Mercenary, who's not Scarlet.
I think that's kind of a fun sequence where she like drags this big thing on the beach, and she like goes around to like secure it or something, and in the background we see the Spinosaur like wake up and then like wander back there, and then just a bunch of screams.
Yeah.
We get a pair of.
But for anyone who likes to watch movies where women wear kind of like overalls, that's where your interest in this movie ends.
Yeah.
No other women wear overalls throughout the rest of the movie.
We're learning a little bit about Elliot's kinks, I guess.
What's her name? Gadget. What's the
Gadget Hack Wrench?
Thank you.
No, she doesn't wear overalls though.
It's more of it's a jumpsuit. It's
a jumpsuit,
sort of a mechanics jumpsuit.
In the overalls community, we're very clear about that.
I feel like Elliot attends some meetings, like in the Ulysses chapter, Scylla and Charybdis, where he argues about cartoon characters' fucking outfits.
Exactly.
So
we in the Oshkosh Bagooner community though are very particular.
We get some info here. Pharma guy reveals this is where InGen abandoned all of the genetically engineered mutant crossbreeds that were too ugly for the park.
They're like, people got tired of regular dinosaurs. They started making mutants, and then they were like, whoa, too much. So they dropped them off onto Hideo Island over here.
Uggo Dino Island, we called it.
They should have called that big dinosaur. It's called the Distortus Rex, which is a pretty good band name. But they should have called it the Ugosaurus Rex. That would have been great. Yeah.
Zora reveals that a rescue copter is supposed to come for them at sunset the next day if they don't hear from them. So they've got their
very
escape plan.
Specific timing. Yeah.
Meanwhile, the Delgados have survived. Made it ashore. They decide to follow some pipes to the abandoned complex, looking for a radio. And there's a lot of like just kind of inconsequential walking around.
Yeah,
they do. The little girl does get like a little dino friend. I like that part.
Yeah.
She adopts a little baby dino named Dolores.
It's like a little Protoceratops type dinosaur.
Yeah, I'm into that.
The mercenary team finds a couple of giant dinos doing kind of a love dance in a field.
These are these Titanosauruses, and it's crazy
with these like bonkers like Inuyasha style tails twisting around.
Yes, that their tails are so incredibly flexible. Their tails are like ribbons, basically. Like their tails are ribbons or kimono sashes or whatever. And all these dinosaurs want to do is caress. And it was like, it went from being, oh, these dinosaurs show affection, I guess, to being like, oh, I'm trapped at a party and I'm sitting next to these two that cannot keep their hands off each other and are just kind of like caressing and kind of lightly touching each other. And even when the dinosaurs get stuck with a dart and their blood is being pumped out of them, they still do not notice because they're so horny for each other.
It's part of the thing.
The Titanosaurus cuddle puddle just can't
they're
end.
So big. I assume that dart is not much of
I guess so. But this scene goes on for a very long time.
Yeah.
And this is after, and Dr. Henry Loomis is like, having this transcendent moment of ecstasy seeing these dinosaurs.
He's blasting.
And it's like, and I don't know if you guys had this thing, but I was like, didn't you remember like a couple people died just like 50 minutes ago, 45 minutes ago? Like, it seems like these characters have completely forgotten what they just went through, you know? But maybe that's the experience of seeing two Titanosaurs necking, you know?
Or they could make a moment of being like, wow, he's really into this, even though our friends just died. But like, I don't know.
Or put a point on it, like, you know what, this is even though that just happened, this is magical, you know, or they, you know, it brings me suddenly. This is what life is all about, you know. It puts into contrast, you know, sharp contrast what we've been doing, or I don't know. But it just seems like the movie was like, we don't care about those people. You don't care about those people. Let's move on to these dinosaurs.
It's like that scene in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids where they're like, yeah, we're all super shrunk and it's terrifying, but look at how magical a giant ant is, right?
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, nobody has died by that point in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. It'd be different if like one of the kids
died in that point.
If like one of the kids drowned in a point, or any point, if one of the kids drowns in a puddle and they're like, oh shit, and then they see a giant ant and they're like, cool.
Yeah, they just, oh shit.
Then the movie called Honey, I Killed the Kids. It would be a different movie. Yeah.
Oof. Hard to come back from that.
No,
so
but you could still, I mean, even Honey, I Shrunk the Kids was hard to come back from. Have you seen Honey, I Blew Up the Kid?
Yeah. So they
you could still make Honey, I Blew Up the Kid, but it'd be a little bit different.
two out of 3 of the giant dinos have we've got their DNA.
We did it.
One left. They're gonna have to climb this cliff for that.
Again,
but meanwhile,
only one of these dinos is an actual dino. The other two are just prehistoric reptiles.
Meanwhile, the Delgados find a raft, which they start taking down river after Bella shoos off her baby dino Dolores. They narrowly escape a T-Rex along the way.
Sequence. What did you guys think about this one?
Yeah.
This is one of the better sequences. There are a few sequences.
The lead up was good. I mean, it ties into one of the weirder things. The way that we were introduced as a culture to T-Rexes by that sequence in the first Jurassic Park, where its footsteps
I'm going to nitpick
ripples.
Slightly that Tyrannosaurus Rex was already a part of. People knew about it.
No,
I don't think so.
But it's not even the first movie with an iconic Tyrannosaurus Rex in it.
Really in film, I feel like, and is that moment where just its footsteps are causing ripples. Yes. And so ever since then, they're like, instead, they are the stealthiest creature in the universe.
I mean, even by the end of that movie, as we all know, the dinosaurs managed just to sneak up behind them at the end, and eat that raptor. But you're right that there's the Tyrannosaur even with the Titanosaurs, they're like, yeah, we're going over a hill, and then suddenly a Titanosaur like head lifts up, and they're like, we had no idea that these huge dinosaurs are here, and like it's a movie, whatever. But in real life, you would hear them, you would smell them, like you'd feel the tremors in the ground. Like the sauropods in particular, they were probably farting all the time because they had huge guts where things would just ferment for forever and break down. But you're right, the Tyrannosaurus, literally it's like, I mean, the fact that it's napping, so they don't see it at first because it's napping, but like it can move so stealthily in this movie. It's true. But I will say there's something about, maybe it's the fact, I like the sequence and I think it's staged really in a fun way, but also you can't deny it. Tyrannosaurus is a super charismatic dinosaur in the way that like the new dinosaurs, they just don't got it in this movie the same way.
Juice.
And when you see Tyrannosaurus, you're like, oh shit, that's a movie star dinosaur. Like even though he's only in the one scene, you're like, they brought in the big guns for this guy, in this moment.
And he's like treated like a giant animal, whereas some of the other ones are treated like, oh, this is a crafty villain.
Yes, especially by the end when there's that dinosaur that I think is just like or that pterosaur that's a made up kind of like weird dinosaur pterosaur hybrid.
The one that the other characters describe as being mutant as shit, I believe.
Yes, exactly. And that one is it's like will not give up stalking them even when it has to squeeze into tunnels to get after them. It's like, no, it's not going to do this. Come on, guys. Like, whereas you're right, the Tyrannosaur has more kind of animal behavior in it, which I think is more fun.
But let's return to our mercenaries.
You never see it with its crush, just kind of nuzzling for 100 hours.
The others are rappelling down this cliff to get a sample from an egg from a nest in like an ancient temple on the side of the cliff.
This was a funny addition that there's just an ancient Indiana Jones style temple.
Yeah,
on
they don't really get into it.
In the middle of nowhere.
But Mama Bird comes back home and kills the last remaining extraneous character during the scene. And in my opinion, like you were talking about, you like that last sequence. This is my favorite sequence of the movie because it had a bit of that, like, I keep bringing Spielberg up because of the original Jurassic Park, but it had a bit of that Spielberg thing where like multiple things are going on within the scene because they're all on ropes. So like, when one of them gets knocked down, like someone gets pulled over somewhere else, and there's also trying to get the genetic material, which is about to fall off the cliff. So they have to try and get that while being like whipped around. And I found that a lot more fun.
I was a little disappointed they didn't do something because at one point the pterosaur like swallows a guy that has a rope attached to him, and I was hoping that the fact that it now has this rope hanging out of its mouth would be some element in the. But it doesn't really.
I thought the same thing. I was like, oh, now they're trying to get away from it, but it is literally attached to them. So they can't, but it's they didn't do anything with it. That would have been cool. But I think you're right, Dan, that, this one has more of that feel of like, there's something going on over here, there's something going on over here, there's different elements that are interacting.
And they affect each other.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like Indiana Jones with the truck or something like that. Or, or rather, Indiana Jones fighting that big Nazi while the plane is kind of turning around because Marion's inside of it, that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's kind of like one of the best action sequences of all time.
If you squint really hard, it's kind of
in the same general mechanics and principles, I guess.
Jonathan Bailey falls off the cliff, but his fall is broken by branches and water.
This was hard to believe.
We don't have to, guys, don't worry. We don't have to name a new People's Sexiest Man Alive. He can still serve.
Is Donald Pleasant still alive? I better step in.
No, unfortunately. So he is not even injured by this incredible fall, which I found unbelievable. And this is a movie that asked me to believe that there are mutant dinosaurs roaming around in an island that also has a gas station with a working radio or at least sound system,
But the Delgados, they make it to the facility, the engine facility, where they meet the team of mercenaries. And Teresa, of course, tells everyone, hey, this dude is bad. Evil farmer man is evil, and left her to die. But
the other thing is, I'm like, these mercenaries on some level, they shouldn't be expected to care. Because, like, they took this fucking suicide mission for a lot of money.
Just for the money, yeah.
Yeah. So it should be a surprise that they care, I feel like. I don't know.
Or, there's a version of this where, where at that moment it is a surprise even to them that they care, or it's a surprise to the bad guy that they care. Like, it feels like there's a, I don't necessarily believe that every story needs like a clear character emotion arc, but for this movie, I think it would make it stronger if any of the characters had any sort of clear emotional arc. And one of, I'm taking this mission, I'm so hardened by my life as a mercenary. I don't give a shit about anything. And all I care about is the money. And then you go on this mission and there's innocent people and you're like, I can't believe I got to deal with these fucking people this whole time. Like, this is getting in my way. And then by the end of it, you're like, no, actually it's more important to me to protect these people than it is to fulfill this contract. Like, that's an arc at least, but that might be a harder buy for Scarlett Johansson to then be the star of your movie to play a character who's an asshole for 2/3 of the film. I don't know.
You were saying she was a huge asshole in A Marriage Story, though, right, Dan?
I still haven't seen that movie.
Dan, you were saying you were saying why did the movie keep taking the villain's point of view?
Haven't seen.
That's a great movie, Marriage Story. I think it's really great.
You know what? It came out when I myself was getting divorced, so I'm like, I'll skip this for now, and then I never circled back. That makes
sense.
Anyway. Pharma guy, Rupert Friend,
That's why I missed the earlier Jurassic Worlds, because I was planning trips to Jurassic World, and I didn't want to get fucked over by dinos.
There's a dino infestation at Hinterlands, and you're like, I can't, it's too much.
I'm just sick of dinos at this point.
That's why the museum shut down, because you canceled your membership.
Yeah.
Rupert Friend has a gun. He handcuffs all the.
Was that supposed to be
hold on. Let me just finish this.
Was that supposed to be the Museum of Natural History in New York that was shutting down? Because they have more things there than just dinosaurs.
I don't know.
Yeah,
They
there's
just
like
opened that
arms
whole
and
new
armor
insect
and
swing.
shit, right?
No, that's not. No, that's at the Metropolitan Museum. There's nothing like that. So you got to stop taking your understanding from the Night at the Museum movie, which is not accurate to the Museum of Natural History.
It is so unimportant at this point, but just because it comes up later, Rupert Friend handcuffs all the genetic stuff to his wrist. So
He
he's
has
got
a suitcase handcuffed to his,
suitcase.
and he has a gun, and he's being mean to them.
I've seen enough movies like this to know that arm ain't staying attached to his bizzotti.
Bizzotti.
Yeah.
I could go for a Bizzotti right now.
Mamma mia.
I like Mandelbrot. It's more kind of like Jewish biscotti.
Yeah.
The power sort of like the generator like comes on at the facility and Stand By Me starts playing, which I kind of like, just like a little like creepy moment of like suddenly there's music here, but they don't linger on it. They don't like allow any creepiness to build. Like immediately dinosaurs just like show up.
Should have been Walk the Dinosaur, right?
Yeah.
Because the
little
song is literally saying
Get on
open
the
the door,
floor.
but they don't want to open the door because there's a
No, and
fucking
they don't want to get on the
dinosaur out
floor
there.
either.
Yeah.
No. Or
so
something by T-Rex, you know.
They hide in various buildings. Dolores, the baby dinosaur, shows up again just as the Delgados hide from, like, I guess, modified raptors, and they escape through a drainage pipe.
Looking at the Wikipedia, it describes this as a mutodon, a hybrid raptor pterosaur.
Thank you. So now
So
my
how do you
enjoyment
feel
is
about these mutodons, Elliot?
Yeah, how do you feel about them? What do they make you feel?
To be honest, I mean, this was where I was having trouble when
the first two words should be "I feel."
Thank you. Well, that's what I said. I feel. Thanks. Thank you for giving me the prompt. Watching the movie, I was torn because I was like, I love monsters. I love any kind of crazy monster. Like, I like seeing movies where monsters are chasing people. But at a certain point, these characters just become dragons. Like, they have modified them so much that it's just dragons chasing them.
Yeah.
And there was still part of me that was like, I wanted dinosaurs in my dinosaur movie. I didn't want dragons in my dinosaur movie. And so maybe that's unfair and kind of like nitpicky.
I feel like if you're going to
still a
mutate,
monster.
if you're going to mutate them, they got to be way weirder. They need like tentacle faces and
I don't know,
because
they try that with the Distortus Rex, where it's like a weird thing, and even that at a certain point, then it's like, well, now it feels like there's an alien after these people, and I feel like if you're trying to tell me dinosaurs are cool, then give me cool dinosaurs doing cool stuff, as opposed to like we got to make a new thing. Like it's the same way that like if you were going to make a movie about George Washington, you weren't going to be like, you know what, let's make it so that he can fly, or even the recent Frankenstein.
You, dude. But what we're already dealing. Your issue is just that they have mutants at all. I'm saying if you're gonna like, it's already baked in that we have mutants. I'm saying make them fucking crazy.
They go all the way. But it's kind of like I was watching the Guillermo del Toro Frankenstein, and there was a lot of stuff in it that I liked. But there are times when Frankenstein is just throwing people around where I'm like, well, this is kind of like a superhero movie right now. And it's not what I want a gothic romance, not necessarily superhero action.
Yeah. The moments where he's like, he's just misunderstood. I'm like, he blasted that dude to fucking hell with one punch. Like, I think at this point you're like,
I mean, by that point he's been pretty mistreated by the world.
There are also a couple points where he's just fighting people, and all he has to do is go, "Hey, stop," because he doesn't look that weird. He's just by the end of it, when he's got long hair, he's just a big scarred up guy. So he can just go, "Hey, wait, don't shoot
dude.
me."
Yeah, super hot.
Yeah,
and he also
I'm sure that if you
even
go
when
to,
he's new, he's super hot.
If you go to Tumblr, there's got to be like so much horny Frankenstein stuff already.
I'm just saying, like, for sure. This dude shows up and immediately punches guys' heads off, and the captain's like, "Oh no, I'll hear him out. Maybe this guy's fine."
You know what? He's got a good story. He goes, they're like, we've got to kill the monster. He goes, look, I've been captaining this ship for so long. I'm so bored of you people. A new person just walked in with a story to tell. I want to hear it.
I want him to fucking spill the tea. Give me the gossip.
So I was torn. I was torn because I like monsters, but I really wanted dinosaurs. Stuart's saying, mutant them up even more. Dan, what was your feeling about these kind of mutant dinosaurs?
I mean, either of your ways would be better. Like the problem is
talk about Avatar over here. Teach me your ways.
This is the one. This is one of the few times where I'm like, no, don't take the middle path.
Like, I feel like Dan's kind of like the Jake Sully of the podcast. Elliot is Spider, of course, and I'm. What other characters are there?
I don't know, like young Sigourney Weaver.
Young Sigourney Weaver. I still haven't seen any of those movies. I don't know any of these. I know who Jake Sully is, but. I think I might have told this story before.
Yeah.
Every time I tried to see the original Avatar in the theaters, someone in my family either had to go have surgery or died. And so, like, I tried to go the first time, and my uncle had a heart attack, and I was like, "All right, I can't. I have to go visit him in the hospital." And then I bought tickets to see it. And that day, my fiance, now wife's grandfather died, and she was like, "It's okay, you can go to the movie. I know you want to see it." And I was like, "That's not going to happen. Like, I'm not going to be like, yeah, that's terrible. Your grandfather died. And go to the movie." But I decided, I was like, something doesn't want me to see Avatar, so I don't need to see it that badly.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to know what is the escalation from that.
Something there is that does not love an Avatar.
I feel like a journey to the land of Pandora will kind of help you come to terms with your grief and the concept of somebody's spirit kind of passing on to kind of join a collective. And I think you would actually it would have really helped.
Yeah. Okay. Now I see what you're saying. So I should have seen Avatar no matter how many members of my family had to pay for it.
But also, like, I would love it if, like, you just jump in now. You just go to see number 3 now without having seen the other ones. Just see what you think.
It looks pretty intense.
But let's get back to this movie where
right.
Jonathan Bailey
Jurassic
and
World.
Mahershala Ali are in the lab we saw in the cold open. They find out there's a tunnel that leads to a boat. But before that, the helicopter arrives. They all run for it, but the giant mutant dino from the opening reappears.
I do love this
eats
bit.
the copter in midair.
I do love this bit because these guys are like, "Oh, well, nobody's here. Let's go home to our families and be safe forever." And they're like, "Well, nope, Jonathan Bailey shot a flare. Let's go get eaten."
Everyone escapes in the tunnel. They get to a funnel.
I mean, a tunnel is kind of like a funnel in a way. Or a funnel is like a tunnel that just gets narrower. Yeah.
Except for Pharma Villain, who abandons everyone, races for the boat in a Jeep. They're stopped by a gate, but Isabella squeezes through to try and open it.
Do you like the bit where this Jeep keeps alerting him that there's pedestrians in the road and the pedestrians
like
always
that.
dinosaurs?
I honestly I enjoyed that. I thought that was funny. Yeah. It says there's a pedestrian ahead of you, and it's the Distortus Rex. Yeah.
Xenomorph Dino looks like it's gonna eat them all. But
now, let's describe it. It's like a it's like a Rancor body shape. It's got big hands with arms.
Yeah.
But it also has 2 extra little arms, and it's got
I like
a
actually
weird,
I like that part.
like an alien bullet head. Yeah.
The only
it's
thing
got a
is,
big like tumor on its head or something.
the only thing is, if you're gonna start going a little bit wild with the design, you want a little more stuff there. So, like, if you're gonna put an extra set of little arms, have those little arms doing weird shit.
Yeah.
Like, have them doing stuff.
It looks like the mutant dino might eat them all, but the Pharma Villain arrives just in time to be a distraction and get eaten himself. But luckily, his arm gets bitten off first, so they can get the sample case. Ali uses a flare to distract the mutant dino to save the others swimming away underwater while they get in the boat. So he's briefly missing presumed dino eaten, except immediately he reappears.
He shows up with no explanation as to how he avoided the big bad worst dino monster of the movie. Yeah. Which was literally about to eat him, moments away from eating him.
It's like yada yada yada. You're not interested in the details of how this
happened. You don't care. You just don't want to see Mahershala Ali die. We understand. We'll just have him get out of there. You know.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like. Do you think that how much better would you have liked it if it cut away and you assumed he was dead and then it cut back and he does something awesome to get away? Like, would you want to see him doing something awesome, or is it better to imagine something awesome?
Would I want to see him do something awesome? Yeah. For sure.
Yeah. Well, 100%. What I don't want is like the movie to be like, he's definitely going to die. And then with no explanations, like, no, he's a nice character, so of course we can't kill him. Here he is.
Not since Rise of Skywalker, when Chewbacca gets into a spaceship, the spaceship explodes, and they go, "Oh no, Chewbacca!" And then the next scene is Chewbacca being led into a room as a prisoner, and they're like, "Haha, he's not dead." It was like, all right, you're not gonna. There's no suspense. You don't let us feel the emotion. There's no explanation. It doesn't matter. You know.
Anyway, we're at the final scene.
I will say, wait, I'm just realizing this.
Okay.
If you were trying to make mutant dinosaurs,
and
you're a heartless
McCoy.
corporation. Yeah, New Dan McCoy, you're a heartless corporation.
Okay.
You're trying to make mutant dinosaurs. You have one that is too ugly and too disgusting to put in public display. Would you A, kill that dinosaur, or
too
B,
expensive? Too expensive.
They say in the movie they're like it's too expensive to kill these dinosaurs, and it's like, I don't understand. What? Either way, it's a loss on the books. So I don't understand why killing it, keeping it alive means that you can write it off as a business expense.
Think about how much
you can't.
That thing probably eats a ton of stuff, right?
Yeah, exactly. Whereas if you kill it, you can eat it.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Serve
That's
it up
actually
at
a
the
good
park.
point, Dan.
Yeah.
Anyway, so they're all boating away, including Baby Dino Dolores.
Babo Dino.
And ScarJo and Jay Bales decide to
I feel like
release the
Babo
medical.
Dino is the kind of character you would see in like the American version of Heavy Metal, where it's like a sexy dinosaur woman
Yes.
who like rides a motorcycle around in a post-apocalyptic future.
Oh, man.
But our
I'm like, yeah, it's European, so it's actually really deep and important.
It's actually really philosophical, even though it's mostly just this dinosaur woman killing guys and then having sex with them.
our leads decide
order, yeah.
to release.
In that order, yeah.
They decide to release the medical info open source rather than getting their huge payday.
Open-saurus?
Open source. They open a thesaurus.
They open a thesaurus, and that's a dinosaur with thus. We tried to breed a thesaurus. We tried to make a dictionary with a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
It's full of words that mean the same thing inside. Anyway, the nightmare's over.
They
no
cut
bloops.
it open, all the
no
words
bloops.
come spilling out. Yeah. Oh, there's
The
no
end.
bloops. I didn't even check if there were any bloops.
Yeah, I checked if there were bloops. No
is there a
bloops.
mid-credit scene?
No, I'm including that under the umbrella of bloops.
Okay.
That bloops has expanded in its meaning.
I don't like this. That's like calling a marine reptile a dinosaur. I don't like this. Yeah.
So Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, rather,
I
Rebirth.
kept calling it Jurassic Park Rebirth and not Jurassic World. And it just shows what the to me at least, in my mind, being a kid in 1993, what a huge cultural impact Jurassic Park had on me and how relatively minor the Jurassic World one. Is that even though this movie is called Jurassic World Rebirth, in my head and in my conversations with people, I keep referring to it as Jurassic Park Rebirth. Like,
Yeah.
it's just that's what I think of it as, you know?
Yeah, certainly. Well, our final judgments on Jurassic World Rebirth, which I see now, I'm looking ahead at my letters question email. I emailed myself, and it says letters queues for JPR. I didn't even put JWR.
Yeah.
Anyway, so our final judgments: is this a good bad movie, a bad movie, or a movie kind of like it's a bad movie? I got really kind of angry at this movie, not because it's like the worst made thing in the world, but just because it's like it felt like the most bankrupt thing. Like there is no clear reason why this was made, and thus it was boring to watch. That's my review. Stuart.
Yeah, I mean, guys, why is it so hard to make a fucking movie with dinosaurs, apparently? Like, it should be super cool and exciting. As a kid, there's nothing in my life that I was more interested in than dinosaurs. So you should be able to easily put dinosaurs in a movie and make it super exciting. But for some reason, it's impossible.
I think maybe that's the hard part, is that dinosaurs are instantly so much more interesting than anything that the human characters can be doing most of the time. And I think that the first Jurassic Park, one of the things that's so great about it is that all those characters are what you're doing is you are experiencing through them the wonder and the excitement of seeing a dinosaur for the first time. And now that the seal is off that, you can never do that again. And when they try to do it here, it feels like, yeah, we saw this happen in Jurassic Park. But it means that you got to figure out how to make those characters as interesting as or as compelling as the dinosaurs, which is really hard to do, which is just tough to do.
Yeah.
But this is, I'm going to call it bad just because of our categories.
Yeah,
it's like
bad,
this movie, but this movie is fine. It's not a terrible movie. It's just it's hard to make what is this, like the 7th movie in the series or something? It's hard to do the 7th movie in a series when the first movie is great. It's hard. It's just, it feels, I think the people
who
who
made it. Do you have any
are
affection for any of the others?
not really. I mean, Jurassic Park 3 is kind of fun.
Yeah.
And the sequence of Jurassic Park 2 where the Tyrannosaurus is loose in California or whatever is kind of fun.
Also the what do you call it? The trailers over the cliff in Lost World is also a great sequence.
Yeah, that's fun too. But I think that it's just so hard to match that original movie, but also, like we were saying, everyone who's making this movie has done great work before. There's no one. This is not one of those times where someone who shouldn't be doing this movie is doing it. And I think you just have to ask yourself, kind of like, yeah, why? I think the question that was never fully asked was, why are we doing this movie? Like, what makes it special again? And I think, or maybe they asked that question and they just didn't hit on quite the right answer for it. I don't know, but that's to make a dinosaur movie. You got to figure out what makes this special now, because we got so many of them. And it's the same thing that's affecting, I feel like, superhero movies, where you got to be like, well, why does this superhero story have to be told other than we're just making more superhero stuff? And it's harder and harder for them to answer that question. Soupy. Well, that's what Soupy Sales was eating a radioactive bowl of soup and became a soupy hero. He has the power of soup. Yeah.
Why not?
So I'm calling it bad,
from his back.
Why
but
was he
it's
called?
fine.
Why was he called Soupy Sales?
I think it's just a silly name.
Oh, okay. Asked and answered. Sure.
I wish there was more to it than that. Yeah.
Good evening. Thanks for tuning in to 101.1 Max Fun. It's midnight here on Host to Coast, and we've got Sarah from Michigan on line 1.
Hi, I'm calling in for some help. I used to love reading, but between grad school, having kids, and the general state of the world, I can't seem to pick up a book and stick with it anymore.
Sarah, this is an easy one. Just listen to Reading Glasses, a podcast designed to help you read better. Bria and Mallory will get all the pressure, shame, and guilt out of your reading life. You'll be finishing books you love in no time.
Great, that sounds amazing. Also, I do think my husband is cheating on me with Mothman. Can you help me with that one?
Ooh, I don't think they cover that. Reading Glasses, every Thursday on Maximum Fun.
Hey, do you have a favorite episode of Star Trek?
If you do, you should also have a favorite Star Trek podcast.
Greatest Trek is about all the new streaming Star Trek shows, and it's a great companion to The Greatest Generation, our hit show about back catalog Star Trek that you grew up with.
It's a comedy podcast by two folks who used to be video producers, so it's a serious mix of comedy and insight that fits right into the Maximum Fun network of shows.
And Greatest Trek is one of the most popular Star Trek podcasts in the world.
So if you're following Lower Decks, Prodigy, or Strange New Worlds, come hang out with us every Friday as we roast and review our favorite Star Trek shows.
It's on MaximumFun.org, YouTube, or your podcatching app.
Let's do some plugs. Elliot, I believe there's some plugs for us, the Flophouse, that you are in charge of.
We have some plugs, and I don't just mean hair plugs for my rapidly balding head. We have some Flophouse stuff that we're going to do. Should I get hair plugs? Right into the Flophouse. See if it. Let me know. As always, Flop TV continues. It's the first Saturday of every month, September through February. When this episode drops, I believe we will be doing our Flop TV episode tonight on Saturday, January 3rd for Dr. Dolittle, the 1960s version, because this is Flopsterpiece Theater. This season, we are going back in time. We started with the 2000s with The Adventures of Pluto Nash, and we've been going decade by decade. December, last month, we did Zardoz, a movie that I think I love after watching it again. But now we're doing Dr. Dolittle, a movie that I barely tolerated. And so we'll be talking about that tonight, January 3rd on Flop TV. Go to the flophouse.simpletix.com for anyone who hasn't heard these ads or seen Flop TV. Flop TV is the 1-hour TV version of the Flophouse. You get us talking about a movie, but you also get a presentation, you get a video segment, you get an opening video, you get like actual produced elements, and we answer questions from the viewers at the end of the show. They're super fun. I love doing them. Everyone always has a good time. So that's theflophouse.simpletix.com. If you missed the season up till now, that's okay. If you buy tickets to those episodes, you get access to the recordings, which will stay online and available through the end of February. Because in January, it's Dr. Dolittle, and in February, it is Plan 9 from Outer Space, a movie we have never covered, even though it's maybe the most famous bad movie that there ever was. So that's Flop TV, theflophouse.simpletix.com. Let's say you want to see us in person. You got one opportunity if you can get yourself to San Francisco on January 25th. Like, as Arnold Schwarzenegger says, get to the chopper. And by chopper, I mean San Francisco Sketch Fest. We will be appearing.
You've heard of the San Francisco treat. In this case, we are the treat in San Francisco.
Yes. It's Sunday, January 25th in the afternoon, 4 p.m. at Cobb's Comedy Club. We are going to be talking about the movie Master of Disguise, right? Starring Dana Carvey.
Right. Elliot says with trepidation.
With trepidation, am I getting it wrong? A movie. This is one of the movies we have been asked about the most. About it, of all the movies to do on the show. So we'll be talking about it Sunday, January 25th, 2026, 4 p.m. at Cobb's Comedy Club as part of San Francisco Sketch Fest. We had such a great time last year at San Francisco Sketch Fest. We're so glad to be going there again. Go to sfsketchfest.com for schedule and tickets. Again, that's sfsketchfest.com to buy tickets to see us January 25th at Cobb's Comedy Club. And let's say that's not even enough Flophouse for you. Let's say you wanted to read a whole chapter of a book about podcasting and the Flophouse. Why? You could just pick up my book, Joke Farming, How to Write Comedy and Other Nonsense by me, Elliot Kalin, from the University of Chicago Press. It's available in bookstores anywhere or buy it online. I prefer you to buy it through your independent bookstore. But if you don't have an independent bookstore nearby, get it online, maybe from an independent bookstore. But that's Joke Farming. There's a whole chapter in there about podcasting where I talk about what I've learned about writing for a podcast, or rather devising a podcast through the Flophouse. And that's my book, Joke Farming, How to Write Comedy and Other Nonsense. Do you guys have any things you would like to plug, Flophouse or not Flophouse related?
Nope.
No, Stuart's shaking his head no.
No, we're just hanging out, man.
Sounds good. Just hanging out.
Let's answer some letters from listeners. This first one is from Patrick, last name withheld, who writes, "Hey, Peaches. Your recent discussion of The Crow remake, a movie I've not seen, reminded me of my only experience of the 90s The Crow, also a movie I've not seen. One of my roommates in college thought The Crow was the coolest movie ever made. He dressed as the titular crow for Halloween on more than one occasion, listened to the soundtrack a lot, etc. His favorite line...
I wonder what that etc. stands in for. What else can you do with the crow?
he and his girlfriend were killed by...
Oh, no.
But he came back.
And,
he played guitar on the roof in the rain.
Yeah. His favorite line from the movie was the crow's response to being told, "Move and you're dead," which is, "You say move and I'm dead, but I say I'm dead and I move." I'll admit that at the time...
That's deep.
At the time, I thought this line ruled, but he repeated it so often that it eventually lost its luster for me.
This is the opposite experience I had with my college roommate, Brian Chan, who is still a dear friend. He liked to quote the least memorable lines from Star Wars. And so sometimes if he was like done with his work or something and he was just relaxing, he'd go, "Oh, thank the maker. This oil bath is going to feel so good." And I just loved that was the line he quoted all the time. I still love it when he says it.
Pretty great.
Anytime it has like a bunch of fucking words, that's a good quote.
So my question is, are there any lines from movies you thought were amazing the first time, but lost their appeal over time? We can maybe call this the David Mamet effect, because lines like "everyone needs money, that's why they call it money" sound cool maybe when Danny DeVito says it, but end up sounding more confusing when repeated in real life.
Honestly, even when I saw that in the trailer for Heist, I was like, that doesn't make any sense.
I mean, I think that...
It has the rhythm of a cool line, but yeah.
A lot of these are just naturally going to be stuff like over-quoted shit. Like, I don't know. Obviously you got your Borats and your Austin Powers.
Yeah, you're the man. You're the man now, dog. That sort of thing.
I mean, things that I thought those movies were both funny at the time, but were not like my favorites. But also Holy Grail, for instance, was a favorite of mine until it was ruined by decades of nerds.
If Borat was one of your favorites, that would be such a change in how I perceived you.
I mean, I have to say, there was a moment when, and maybe this is not acceptable. I don't know. I remember seeing Borat in the theaters for the first time, and it was one of the funniest experiences I've had in terms of seeing a movie live with an audience. And I was like, this is the cutting edge of comedy right now. And to see that so quickly go from the cutting edge to, oh, this again. Okay, more of this. Was a dispiriting thing. I mean, Austin Powers was kind of seeing that and being like, oh, this feels like a new thing. This is a new fun thing. And then it so quickly became, more of this. I can't take it.
Yeah.
But what's a quote that you guys thought was cool or meant something to you and then it stopped meaning things to you,
Well, that's a harder question to answer, which is why I didn't.
Probably something from fucking Fight Club or something.
Yeah, there's a lot of quotes out there.
Or something from American Beauty.
Stuff I liked, but then the wrong people jumped on the train, like Fight Club or, like The Big Lebowski. I don't know.
There's a line that Joseph Cotton has in Shadow of a Doubt that I used to love because it was I was like, this is the darkest thing I can imagine from an old movie, where he's talking to his niece, young Charlie, who's learning that he is a serial killer. It's a great movie. I highly recommend it. And he goes, says something about goes, "What do you know about the world? Do you know if you rip the fronts off houses, you'd find swine inside? The world's a hell. What does it matter what happens in it?" And I remember being like, cool, I don't agree with that. But like, what a cool, like, kind of harsh thing for a character to say, especially in an old movie. And the older I get, the more I'm like, I'm not as attracted to darkness as I once was. And so maybe that's something that I don't find as cool as I once. I still think it's a great line for that character, that I'm no longer like, what a cool dark thing for a character to say, you know?
Yeah.
This is a tough one because it requires me to both remember lines from movies and also remember ones I don't like anymore.
You have trouble remembering whether characters rip their own ding-dongs off in movies.
I think the record will show that I'm pretty good at that.
And as we know, Dan has Jackie Chan blindness, or Jackie Chan amnesia, isn't unable to remember if Jackie Chan is in movies.
I mean, he's not that noticeable of a presence in most movies.
That's true. Fades into the background.
Wallflower.
This next letter is from Helen Mary.
Wallflower sounds like a good Jackie Chan movie title.
Yeah, well, a young Jackie Chan. Okay, he's like a nerd, right? But nobody knows that he's a martial arts master. You know?
Yes, perfect.
Helen Mary, last name withheld, writes, "You may not be interested in more Patch Adams stories.
Cool, don't tell us.
But
Just kidding. I would love to hear it.
I'm compelled to share this regardless.
Here is something I will never say, ever. This is a combination of words in the English language I will never utter. I am tired of Patch Adams stories. Never. The only story of Patch Adams I'm tired of is the movie Patch Adams. Yeah. Otherwise, I want to hear them all.
I mean, as long as they're true. Don't start lying to us about Patch Adams.
I don't need the Chuck Tingle Patch Adams stories where it's obviously made up. Yeah.
Anyway, a few years back, I was working in the Midwestern town where Patch lives. Central Illinois is a good place to find pawpaws, the native fruit that's sort of like if a mango and an overripe banana had a baby, and a friend organized a bike ride to go visit and harvest the pawpaw trees around town. Halfway through the tour, our leader stopped to warn us that the next stop would be a little unusual. We rolled up a long gravel driveway leading to a house, some outbuildings, and a pawpaw tree. Suddenly, the door to the house flew open and out ran a man entirely naked except for a diaper, with his belly and chest painted blue. He threw himself to the ground by the pawpaw tree.
We had entered the movie Krippendorf's Tribe by accident.
He threw himself to the ground by the pawpaw tree and wailed, "Papa, Papa, don't take my pawpaw away from me." I have never seen the movie Patch Adams, did not realize it was based on a real person, and don't think I would recognize him with clothes on. Your pal, Helen Mary, last name withheld.
So that was Patch Adams who was doing that.
Yep, that's our old friend Patch Adams.
So I've
weirder and weirder with every story.
This raised a lot more questions because did the rest of the group break into laughter at that? Were they going insane?
Was that supposed to be what the joke of it was? The play on words or the
I guess so. I mean, also
they all laughed and then he went, "You're cured. Take them away."
Papa, Papa. So that explains the diaper. But why is he blue too?
Because he's sad that he's losing his pawpaws.
Oh, okay.
Exactly.
He's blue.
Dabba-dee, dabba-die. That's what the song was about, actually. If you listen to the lyrics.
Well, I guess it all fits together.
Now what do we do on this podcast, Danny boy?
Now is when we...
I just want to say, again, everyone, if you have a Patch Adams story, you need to send it in. Thank you. Yeah. We're collecting them for the Patch Adams Oral History Project. It's NPR and StoryCorps. And we'll be collecting them all, I assume, into a leather-bound volume, which will then be jettisoned into the sun.
Now is when we recommend movies that we think might be a better use of your time than the one we watched. I'm looking through my recently watched films, and a lot of them are things that have been recommended before by Elliot. So I won't recommend those ones.
Wow, that's Dan's low-key way of telling Elliot that he respects his recommendations.
Oh, yeah,
well, I mean, I watched Night
of a backhanded way.
Night of the Juggler and $1 Million Legs, and I liked both of them, but I think they've been talked about already. So
they've been recommended before. I don't know if I've never recommended $1 Million Legs on the show. Have I?
It's possible not. It's
Check
possible.
The tape.
It's just because you did a screening back in the 92Y Tribeca days.
That's true. That is one of the, I find to be such a funny movie. It's one of those 30s comedies where they're just like, whatever. We can do whatever. Who cares? And it's just super silly in a kind of hell's a pop and throw everything in way,
Yeah. So I'm going to recommend Wake Up Dead Man, which I went out and saw in the theaters despite Netflix's best efforts to say, don't do that anymore. I'm like, fuck you. I will.
Fuck you, Netflix. I'm going to give you more money in a different way, and you're not going to like it.
I mean, if I want to change Netflix's mind about the theatrical experience, it's probably the best way of doing it.
That's a very good point, actually, yeah.
But, I like these Benoit Blanc mysteries.
You feel like definitely like kind of the target audience. You have a cast of great character actors, and it's like a little bit of a whodunit, a little bit of a character thing.
I've got a wife who will watch any whodunit. I'm also a fan. It's comedy, it's mystery. Each of these films feels like it, is trying to address larger themes. This one is a little less of an ensemble piece and a little more focused on Josh O'Connor's character, but he is fantastic in it.
Always.
And I just had a great time. Like, this is a classic, like, the best special effect is a bunch of actors doing stuff with a fun script movie.
Do you think Josh O'Connor and Daniel Craig talked about working with Luca Guadagnino a bunch because they were both in Luca movies last year?
Probably.
Yeah,
probably did bond over it.
I don't see why they wouldn't.
Yeah.
Man, I've been watching a pile of movies, but I think I'm going to recommend one that's close to my heart.
Don't keep your movies in a pile. That's not the best way to take care of a movie.
Yeah, I'm going to recommend one that's close to my heart because I went and saw it with a good buddy of mine. That's right. That is Now You Three Me, a.k.a. Now You See Me, Now You Don't.
No, is it called Now You Three Me by anybody or just by you?
Just by me.
Who was the good buddy? Was it Audrey?
It was. We went to see it with Dan and Audrey. It was so fun. These movies are so silly, and they take themselves just seriously enough, but no more. And it's like, I don't know. It's like the kind of like the big budget action adventure, but like, there's not that much action unless you count magic, and the magic tricks are like really silly and don't really make sense.
Yeah,
and it has this elaborate mythology that also doesn't make sense, and
it's getting to like almost Fast and Furious levels.
I love it. I can't get enough. Yum yum yum. Pour it in my mouth. And in this one, you have Rosamund Pike playing a Afrikaans like diamond mine owner. And she is like full-on Bond villain. She gobbles up every scene she's in with this wild Afrikaans accent that vacillates between believable to just absolutely bonkers. It's great. I love it. It's so good. And the additions to the cast are fun. I love it. 2 thumbs up.
It was a lot of fun. I was surprised at just how engaged I was seeing one of these in the theater.
Going into it, I was like, is this going to be as fun as watching these movies, the previous 2, and how silly they were, and just being like, am I enjoying this ironically or just enjoying it? And then you realize it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, they merge at a certain point.
That's fun. I'm going to recommend a similar kind of movie. No, just kidding. It's a very different movie. I've been decided I needed, for my own purposes, I needed to go back to a movie that is a little bit of a comfort food movie for me to watch recently and see if it still provided what I wanted it to provide. And so I watched the movie Being There, the Hal Ashby movie with Peter Sellers and Shirley MacLaine. And watching it, I was like, yep, I still love this movie. It's still beautiful and also funny at the same time. And the fact that they're able to pull off a satire that feels very kind of like calm and stately without losing the satire or the humor is astounding to me. That it's a satirical movie that is not really calling attention to itself or shouting the jokes or shouting its points or anything like that. And the stuff they do with clips of TV shows from the 70s and things like that. For anyone who's not familiar with Being There, it is a movie about a man who has some sort of mental impairment and only knows the world through television, essentially. And he is forced out into the outside world and gets mixed up with people in Washington, D.C. and rich people. And they believe that his very basic statements about gardening, because he has been a gardener his entire life, are elaborate metaphors about the economy or whatever, or emotions or things like that. And they all read into what he's saying, what they basically want him to be saying to them. And the question, and on a very basic level, it's a satire of like, oh, this guy, when you say something that means nothing, people read things into it. But at a deeper level, it becomes about like, are we all just kind of like people programmed by what the media has told us to expect about the world, who kind of like say things that don't mean anything or are not understanding what other people are saying to us. And I really love it. It's a very and it's also just a very calm movie. Like it's a very calm kind of like stately kind of like kind of a I don't know, just not upsetting movie in terms of the way it moves. So it was really exactly what I needed at the time. So that's Being There with Peter Sellers and Shirley MacLaine.
I need to revisit that one because I saw that as a kid, which is probably not the ideal way. And like, I was expecting something funnier. And I also was like reading it more sort of on the basic level of like, yeah, I get it. Like people think that this guy's deep when he's not,
Yeah.
But it's so beloved. I'm sure that if I revisited it now, I would find more in it to enjoy.
I think so. I mean, it's a movie that I think, especially if you're seeing it as a kid and you're familiar with Peter Sellers, you're like, this is going to be silly. And it's like, not really silly.
Yeah, where are the shenanigans?
Yeah, exactly. And
a lot of kids are big Sellers heads.
Well, I mean, I certainly was from watching
certainly
like
Dan was, I'm sure.
Pink Panther films at the.
Yeah. And I think it's a very controlled movie. And so I think to see the stuff that's in it sometimes, it might take an adult eye, Yeah. And I find there are moments in it that I find genuinely very beautiful, which is not something I can say for a lot of comedies, where it's like, oh, this moment becomes beautiful, and not in the way of
like the Borat naked wrestling sequence.
I mean, there is something beautiful about that Borat naked wrestling sequence, to be honest. But this is beautiful in a different way. But the not in the way of like, well, to make this comedy respectable, we've got to make it suddenly sad. And this movie has an autumnal feel to it, and there is a sadness to it. But it's not like you're not seeing characters like kind of screaming and crying and proving that they are that they can do drama, or something like that. So,
well, guys, that's the Flophouse for this week, I believe, unless I'm mistaken. And if I am mistaken, then I apologize to everyone for lying to you. But I think this might be the first full episode of the new year. So
we're recording this slightly ahead of time. That's why Dan is uncertain. It's not because Dan has dementia and doesn't remember what time of year it is.
So did you make have you make a New Year's resolution, Dan? How's your resolution going so far?
I don't believe in New Year's resolutions. I think
every day's
really?
a resolution.
Because they believe in you.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you. You know what? Is it?
Let's get to the bottom of this.
I don't know. Anyway, Happy New Year. Either way, the whole point is like, you know what? There's no law that's.
Oh no, Dan, the cops are at the door. They're taking you away.
Could have just wrapped up the episode. Nope.
I'm allowed to do it early. If I'm doing it early, if I'm doing it late, Happy New Year.
This episode is supposed to come out
listeners.
January 3rd, Dan. You're right in the pocket.
Oh, okay, great.
Have you ever heard of an unforced error?
You know what? I also told you. I was like Elliot earlier. I was like, I told you this is going to be on January 3rd. So I don't know why I forgot it.
It's not that you forgot it. It's that you immediately doubted your memory of it, your recollection of what date this will be. Yeah.
Happy New Year. It's been a rough one.
Dan was about to perfectly land the fighter jet onto the aircraft carrier, and then he suddenly spilled hot coffee in his lap and started jerking the throttle around.
It's been a rough one.
Why are you drinking hot coffee in a fighter jet, Dan? You got that mask on. You can't even get it to your mouth.
I wish better times for us all, including our great producer, Alex Smith. Thank you for producing us. He goes by the name Howell Dottie all over the internet. Thank you to Maximum Fun, our network. Go over to MaximumFun.org and check out all the other great podcasts on it. Stuart's shaking his head at the turn this took. The abrupt turn back into professionalism.
Boring. Dan, fuck up some more, please.
Thank you for listening. We hope you stick with us in the new year. For the Flophouse, I've been Dan McCoy.
I've been Stuart Wellington.
I'm Elliot Kalin, Rebirth.
Bye. Okay, let's just do the thing, being the podcast.
Oh, that's the thing you do. Not do the thing as in have sex with the monster from the thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
it can change any shape you want.
Anything you want.
Any shape you want. You want to have sex with a dog with tentacles? That's your man.
Guys, hear me out.
Hear you out.
Just release all of these outtakes as a mini.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm done chomping on mango. Calm down. Stop giving me looks, Dan.
I'm just making
He's giving me
sure.
that fucking Dan McCoy stank eye.
Oh, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Just
Yeah, the dank guy. Yeah.
Making sure it's done so we don't annoy our listeners. Okay, here we go.
Dan, what we do is annoy our listeners.
Maximum Fun.
A worker-owned network
of artist-owned shows.
supported
directly
by you.